progressives, they're not just watching Hakeem Jeffries anymore, they are circling him. This is interesting. House Minority Leader, who could very well become Speaker, is now on the radar of New York's energized left. According to multiple reports, far left allies of Assembly member Zohran Mamdani are exploring a serious primary challenge to Jeffries in 2026. Jeffries was asked about a potential challenge from within on CNN. Listen.
Leader Jeffries, I also want to talk to you about Zohran Mamdani, the Democratic nominee for mayor in New York City. CNN has new reporting that some progressives who empowered Mamdani to victory now want to primary you and other Democrats in New York City. The co-chair of the New York City's Democratic Socialists of America says he thinks you're picking fights, quote, with the left instead of focusing on fighting the right. His words. Asked whether Mamdani thinks those House incumbent challenges should happen, his press secretary told CNN he was declining to comment, at least for now. How do you respond?
I have no idea what these people are talking about. We are going to continue to focus our efforts as we did on the House floor in connection with Donald Trump's one big ugly bill on pushing back against the extremism that has been unleashed on the American people. It's clear to us as House Democrats, it's clear to us as members of the New York City delegation that the problem is Donald Trump and House Republicans.
All right, so Jeffrey's not really answering the question there, not really wanting to address it. But let's be clear, these are not just anonymous whispers. This is a movement, recent wins, national ambition. And while no candidate has emerged, none announced just yet, the goal is unmistakable: shake up the party by going after one of its most powerful incumbents. So, Cenk, this could escalate. I mean, we had Bowman, and that was somewhat nasty. This could go beyond that. What does it tell you that progressives are looking directly at Jeffries right now and not backing down?
Yeah, and they're looking at 4 other Democratic seats around the New York City area as well, and we'll get to that. And I think it makes sense. I love primaries, so we'll have to see who they put up. First of all, anyone they put up against Richie Torres, I'm going to support. Okay, pretty much anybody. And Hakeem Jeffries has been taunting progressives for a long time. Him and his team love to go on the attack against progressives and they love to ridicule progressives, etc. So so now I say we, they. It's in different spaces here, Sharon, because I'm not involved in any of those New York fights. I have been in the past. I supported Jamal Bowman very vigorously. I loved it when he beat Eliot Engel. So I don't know which Democratic Socialists might run or not. I'm not in DSA, so I don't know what their policies are. I don't know which way they're going to go. But I do know that, and by the way, to be fair to Jeffries, when they say he loves to pick on the left and start the fights, that's half true. He does it fairly regularly. But the other half is, well, I mean, you guys are saying you're thinking of running against them, so that he could perceive that as you starting the fight, right? So I get it, but overall, do I like Hakeem Jeffries? No. Would I want all of them primaried so that at least there's some sort of viable threat to not always vote with your donors? Yeah, that would be terrific. If he could be unseated by someone who is economically progressive, economically populist, that would be amazing. Can they actually take him out? I don't know. Sometimes we have, sometimes we haven't, and it depends on your candidate. It depends on their policies. It depends on how they run. But that whole snickering thing that Hakeem Jeffries does, total BS. Like I'm not worried about it at all. Then why do you always constantly put out statements for the last 10 years attacking progressives? Because you're not worried about it? So yeah, a lot more from that, Sharon.
Well, speaking of statements, Cenk, Andre Richardson, Jeffries' senior advisor, told CNN this: if Team Gentrification wants a primary fight, our response will be forceful and unrelenting. We will teach them and all of their incumbents a painful lesson on June 23rd, 2026. So gearing up for a fight, or at least talking tough. Mamdani,
you know what, Sharon, I'm going to jump back in. because a couple of things about that. First of all, so team gentrification, they're making race an issue, right? So, but you don't even know who your opponent is, let alone if one even exists. So what if it's someone else who's black? How is it gentrifying then? Like instantly he wants to make it about race. And like if these are Mamdani's allies, Mamdani's literally from Africa. I know he's South Asian, but he was born in Uganda, etc. And besides, he's brown. What is this? Why does he immediately bring race into it? And it's because it's dirty pool, dirty politics. And on the snide stuff, I've got 2 more specific examples for you. Before Jamal Bowman's race, that same team, the Hakeem Jeffries team, put out a snide comment in the press just like that about, these progressive nerds will never win any elections. And then their beloved Elliot Engel lost and got humiliated. And by the way, who's gentrifying who? Because Hakeem Jeffries and all the corporate Democrats supported Elliot Engel over Jamal Bowman. So if you want to talk about gentrification, right? So that's why it bothers me so much when they hide behind their race as they do the bidding of corporate donors. The minute there's a strong black man challenging a white person though, all of a sudden they forget about their race entirely, right? So let's just keep it real on those issues. And then finally, not Jeffrey's team, but Crowley's team, who AOC ran against. There's a quote in Ryan Grimm's book about this, where Crowley staffers said, AOC, she'll get 10% and then go work for the Young Turks. Well, I've seen a lot of those laughs turn into frowns. So, the more Jeffries and his team talks, we can't wait to turn their smile upside down. So that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of talking for not being worried. And we'll see if the snicker, how does it go? I love it. Okay, so Mamdani, who represents parts of Queens, has already mobilized efforts to, oust establishment-aligned Democrats in New York State legislature. And he's been blunt about the mission to target those who, in his words, are insulated from the material reality of their constituents. Not just about ideology, of course, it's about accountability, power. There's a deeper tension here too. Jeffries, like Pelosi before him, has prioritized party unity, strong institutional control. He's close, of course, with major donors, doesn't waver on support for groups like AIPAC. And for some progressives, that makes him the ultimate symbol of what needs to change inside this party. The left flank knows a primary against Jeffries won't be easy, a lot of money involved, but that might not be the point, win or lose these challengers. And these challenges overall are about forcing conversations, exposing contradictions, proving that even the top Democrat in the House is not above being questioned and having to answer. We should say it's not just Jeffries' reports, as you alluded to, Cenk, say Mamdani's coalition is looking at other New York Democrats too, especially those they see as out of step with working class and progressive voters. So this could get a whole lot bigger. I think you said before that power concedes nothing without a fight. What do you expect? What should we expect here? And is this helping the movement, or does it risk dividing it when the right is also rising?
Yeah, no. This is what corporate Democrats always do to hide behind Trump, basically. No, we're busy fighting Trump, and these guys are distracting us. First of all, they don't even exist yet, so it seems like you're distracting yourself. Second of all, you can't fight Trump and run a primary when you're an incumbent and you normally win with like 70% margins. You can't do both of those things at the same time. Of course you can. You're Congress people. You barely do anything. You take half the year off to go kiss donor ass. So like what, you're too busy? You're too busy fighting Trump? No, you're not. It's just nothing but an excuse, right? In other words, what it's saying is, okay, unity. Unity, okay, I've heard that before. So where was unity when Cori Bush was running, when Jamal Bowman was running, when Marie Newman was running? I didn't see any unity then. I saw establishment Democrats stab progressives in the back as they do every single time, okay? So I didn't see any big money pouring into those races to help them. Even if there was like some symbolic like, oh yes, we endorse you, wink, and doesn't send $1, doesn't do anything to help, nothing, right? So it's all excuses. So to do nothing. Okay, so then Hakeem Jeffries, you wouldn't need to be primaried. Richie Torres, you wouldn't need to be primaried if you actually fought for us. And by the way, I mean, he's the leader of the Democrats theoretically in the House. Go ahead, Hakeem, prove yourself. Oh, I did an empty 9-hour speech. I know, that was nice optics, terrific, okay? And so you got some good PR out of that, buzz out of that. Which bill did you stop? How aggressive were you in fighting back on an issue where you at least stop them in their tracks, right? You minimize the damage. Show me one. Show me a strategy you had in defeating Republicans that worked. I've never seen one, and that's why you're the minority leader and not the majority leader or not the Speaker of the House. And so, and again, when they ask him about this, it says, "Oh, this would prevent the first African American from being Speaker of that." Okay, guys, I got it. Race. It's exhausting. Yes, but are you actually going to do anything for Black people, for Latinos, for minorities, and for all of us? For all of us, are you going to do anything, or just say, "Oh, I'm Black. You're not allowed to challenge me"? No, that stuff is worn thin, man. That's like the Israeli supporters going, "Oh, you criticize Israel, anti-Semite." Yeah. We're past this horse crap. Not interested in it. Richie Torres, speaking of Israel, Richie Torres spends 90% of his time pleasuring Israel in Congress. So what, he's got plenty of spare time. I mean, barely even thinks about this country. So, I mean, Torres's district is unfortunately more conservative out of all the other ones. That's the toughest one. And that's partly why he kisses up to Israel and every donor so much. But yes, these guys all should be challenged. And look, one last thing, I love Ro Khanna's attitude as usual. Okay, so why? He's like, I beat an incumbent in a primary. Should we discourage people from primarying me? No, I don't mind. That's democracy. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, let's go. Hash it out in a primary. There you go. That's a fighting spirit. That's because that guy actually does stuff, right? He goes to Congress. He proposes bills. He just proposed a bill that could cut $12 trillion and not hurt anybody, right? Actually take it from corporate subsidies and corporate tax cuts, etc. Be productive, then nobody would be worrying about primarying you. But instead, they're like, "Oh, donor money, oh, race, oh, you stupid socialists, shut up." It's impossible not to root against them. They make it impossible. And like I said, I'm not a democratic socialist. I would rather have more populist candidates with like policies that are already like way to the left of Hakeem Jeffries and his donors, but like poll at 67% or higher, like super popular policies that are left-wing populism. That's my preferred approach, but that's probably not gonna happen much in New York. But I would take the Mamdani forces against the establishment any day. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.